So can you just kind of walk us through, the conversations you had with the Mariners and like what really stood out about coming here and joining this organization?
I mean, it's a lot because realistically, I played against them for 3 years, basically pretty consistently. So it's like I kind of knew what the roster had, like the composition of the bullpen, of the rotation, kind of knew the personnel pretty well. Obviously from the other side, so obviously the roster and the rotation was a very attractive thing for a reliever, just because it makes our job a little easier whenever you know the rotation's gonna get the job done and at least carry you pretty deep into games.
They really prided themselves with pitching over the past few years. What have you seen from afar about how they've kind of developed that and cultivated that?
I mean, obviously the stuff is pretty undeniable. Obviously they've taken a very strong interest in figuring out how to get the most out of guys, how to develop stuff, how to add really viable weapons to people's repertoires, and obviously bringing in a guy like Castillo a couple years ago, like such a big add and a big emphasis on that is really good. And it's a team that, like, obviously from afar you see the stuff and then what the stuff has turned into as well, like as the seasons have gone on and they've added pitches and stuff to the people's mixes, and they've all been like effective and worked well. So it definitely as a pitcher and somebody that wants to get better is a really cool thing to watch and now to be a part of.
Has there been anything that's really stood out in early conversations with them about how they can maybe unlock something with you in particular?
I've only been here for like 3 hours, so like hasn't really been too much of a deep dive yet. So yeah, like I know that they have ideas. We've kind of like brushed over some things that I do well and things that they think I do well and things that they think that we could add, but like nothing like deep yet.
Right.
Yeah.
You said, or Hollander said you mentioned to him that you didn't like last year's results as much as maybe years past. What did you think you didn't like about it?
Well, obviously, like it was like I had a 4, but that was, I feel like, super unlucky. Like I think I gave up half of my runs in 3 games, so I think that was more unfortunate than anything. Like I know I gave up a 3 spot to Seattle, and I don't know if I gave up a ball hit over 90. So those ones kind of hurt. So I think a little bit of it was bad luck and just a little bit of that. So I don't really read into it too much. But yeah, no, I think as long as I just keep doing what I've done well and the things that they think that can add to what I do well, I think it's going to translate really, really well.
I would imagine, like, when you're a free agent, you're looking at teams, you bet on a winner.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you want to just go somewhere and not win. Like, when
Yeah.
you look at this roster, this team, do you believe there's a winner here? There's a chance?
Oh, for sure. For sure. No, that's like, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I definitely didn't want to have to kind of go through a rebuild or whatever. It's like if the situation arose, like I would very much like to be on a winner, and that's what I saw here. I thought like the team is built to win. Obviously, the pitching staff is very strong. It's been very strong. The offense is deep this year, so I think there's a lot of things going in the right direction. And I laughed when I got into the clubhouse because I was like kind of looking at the roster and I was like, man, I'm one of the old guys now. Like it's like you look around and everybody's 25, 26 years old. So like I think that kind of shows that there's longevity being built here, and I think that's a very cool thing to be a part of.
Service mentioned today he had to warn you about the meeting. Probably didn't expect to have a spelling bee on your first
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, he said that there's a lot of like kind of quirky things that they like to do, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then he's like, we got a spelling bee today. I was like, awesome, cool. We'll see where this goes. And it's just funny. Just I like that the clubhouse is loose, and I think that comes with a lot of the young with a young team. Like if you have to keep it loose, because when the team's young, you don't want people getting like too tight. Like you play better when you're loose, and especially like young guys, so they don't overthink anything. You just kind of have fun and go out and play, and like the chips will fall where they fall and go from there. I think it's a good environment to have.
We're big believers in letting people be themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. Like anytime you try to like put the clamps down on a team and like really restrict personalities and fun and things like that, I think you get kind of bogged down with the mindset of like holding back instead of just kind of being loose and enjoying yourself. Like it's a game, it's fun, it's supposed to be fun. yeah, it's serious, but like if you're not having fun, then like really what the hell are you doing? Okay, we're just exactly, the season's way too long to be like rigid the whole time. It's too hard. The game is very hard, and you're gonna have good times, you're gonna have bad times, but like you get over the bad times if you're doing things that are fun. So I think it plays well into having a good clubhouse and a good environment to play.
Is that what you saw from the other dugout when you went up against us in the last few years?
From the other dugout, it was from the other dugout. It was very contentious. I feel like it was it was a little different when you're on the other side, but no, it's like you see it from afar, and it's like I said, it's a young team, and they're gonna have fun, and they're gonna do things. So like I never took it personally, and I don't really take a whole lot personally, but like it's definitely a different vibe being in the clubhouse versus being on the other side, especially one where like it had been kind of some knockdown dragouts over the past 3 years. So I think it's definitely a different perspective being in the clubhouse versus being on the other side.
With battles in particular, any individuals that you can go up to say, yo, hey, why,
Oh no, I mean I don't think I ever had any problems with anybody. It just I mean, you guys have been around, you've seen it. So they're it's like the benches have cleared a couple times. So yeah, no, it was cool. Like everybody's been super welcoming. So yeah, it's been fun so far. Like it's weird coming into a clubhouse like in division where you feel like you know everybody, even though you've like not met them. It's like I came in the clubhouse and everybody said hi, and they're like, "Hey, glad to have you. Glad you're on our side now." Like it's cool, but then you're like, I feel like I know you, but like I don't. So it's kind of a weird dynamic, like knowing everybody's face and knowing everybody's name, and then like not knowing them personally.
you get your numbers in your head about how you've done against some of these guys?
Oh yeah, I know. I don't forget. I told Ty I think he's barreled every ball I've thrown to him, so I don't have to face him.
Ryan, where are you at on your throwing progression? We saw you get off the mound a little bit. Are you ready to go to live BPs? Where are you at to get game ready or anything like that?
Yeah, obviously I like gotta build up a little bit, but I think should be ready by opening day. I don't think that's a thing, but or don't think that's a worry, but yeah, I think as long as all things go well, should be on pace for that. I still got to talk to the pitching guys and see exactly what the progression is going to look like. But yeah, getting off the mound today felt good. Not sure if they're going to want me to throw another bullpen or maybe take another day and throw it live. I don't really know. We gotta kind of iron out those details. But as of right now, I think things are progressing the right direction. So yeah, no, I'm feeling good, feeling strong. So yeah. Yeah. No, it's been a weird process, obviously, like coming in late, like not really expecting to come in to camp late. So you're trying to do as much as you can without being stupid, so you can come in and pass a physical and be ready to go and not do anything stupid to like hurt yourself in the process. But then you also like know that there's a time crunch, so you got to kind of try to inch towards being ready for opening day. So it's I feel like I did as good a job as I could have expected to kind of like keep myself at least around where I need to be.
Anxious moments, I mean, like, hey, when's this going to happen? You know?
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of that, but like I think a lot of it is know your value, know what you're trying to accomplish, know places that you want to go that are good fits. It's obviously like an all encompassing process trying to figure it out, but yeah, I mean, can't lie and say there's no stress, but I think the people that understand like where they should be and what they should be looking for are in a good position.
That's what it's been a great pitch for you. When did you come up with the splitter? Who taught you it? How did that evolve?
Yeah, actually in 2017, I was in the big leagues for a little while, and then I didn't really have a changeup. I was fastball slider. I had a changeup, but it sucked. And I got sent down to AAA, and Steve Geltz, I don't know if you guys know Steve Geltz, but he was a reliever with Tampa, and he was actually in AAA at the time, and he threw a split. So he was a guy that like I kind of like picked his brain, and I wanted something to help me to get lefties out. And we just started playing catch, and he started teaching me like his kind of thought process with it. So I attribute a lot of the splitter success to Steve and what he had kind of helped me with yeah, so then I basically from that point on, I threw it in a game and got yelled at because I didn't tell anybody I was throwing it in a game. Oh yeah, the catcher knew, but he was the only one. That didn't go over super good, but yeah, but from that point on, it's been a pretty good pitch for me. I felt like it was pretty quick. Like I think a part of it is if you throw a good true four seam, in my mind, it should be a fairly easy pitch to develop, just strictly for the fact that like my mentality with it is very similar to a fastball. So it didn't take a whole lot other than a grip change and kind of feeling comfortable with the ball not being like leveraged in the hand. Once I got over like that feeling of like it doesn't feel like secure, it was fine. Yeah, I noticed that. And if they have, and if they did in the past, they've added one. Like, I did have heard a lot about that like pretty recently. I was like, wow, like there's like 5 new split dudes over here, so that's cool. Yeah, I mean it's a good pitch. It works. So I think as long as you can throw it in good zones, it's a really effective pitch.
You put it with Brian Anderson. How come he never threw off an hour? I mean, like, he's gonna.
I mean, he should. I mean, yeah, we were college teammates. He's actually one of my best friends. He was a groomsman at my wedding. Like, yeah, so it was a small world that like we talked about it when he signed out here. I was like, hey man, congrats. Like we've been talking, and he was like, dude, do it. And I was like, yeah, and yeah, so it ended up happening that way. And yeah, he's got a cannon. I've always thought he should have hopped on the mound in college, and I mean, he bangs, so he made a good career choice.